Today I take you to an abandoned 1950s home located in rural Alabama. A family of 4 used to reside here: Mr. Leo, Mrs. Ted, and their 2 children. After a long and fulfilled life, Mrs. Ted lost her husband in the 80s. Throughout the years, the 2 kids moved out to study in nearby towns, and the woman spent her days lonesome in the home. In 1992, Mrs. Ted passed away inside the house after she had laid down on the couch to take a nap. Sadly, her body had begun to decompose before it was finally found. Now, nearly 3 decades later, everything is still left behind. Today I will take you on another journey into this sad time capsule in America. So welcome back everybody on a brand new video. We've made our way from Florida to Georgia to the 3rd state, which is the Yellowhammer State, Alabama. Well, actually, like Lynyrd Skynyrd, the band, sang in their song, the sky is always blue, but there is no blue sky to be seen here.
We only had 1 or 2 days of blue sky. We've been here for like a week, so yeah. It's a big lie.
It's a little bit of disappointment, but of course we are also exploring here during winter time. And Leslie and I are currently making our way to a time capsule home that's been abandoned since 1992. So it's been abandoned for 29 years.
29 years of abandonment. That's actually crazy for American standards, because houses deteriorate very fast over here.
It's unbelievable, but despite it's been abandoned for such a long time, nearly 3 decades, the house has remained unspoiled. There is even still a grand piano. And I remember when you were all watching the videos that you were saying, a grand piano, that's something we will never see in an abandoned home in America. But be prepared, it's gonna be an amazing video. We're nearing the property and we're gonna try to make our way inside as inconspicuous as possible. But I think we should be fine because we're really in the countryside right now.
Yeah, there's literally nothing around us.
Only trees, and beautiful hilly landscape. So yeah, stay tuned. So there were a lot of cars passing by, but we've actually made it to this mystic beauty over here. You can tell that parts of the front facade and the balcony are already slowly dilapidating. We're quickly gonna try to make our way inside because the people over here do not really like trespassers. Well, look at this, guys. Beautiful property over here. So, stay tuned to see the beautiful inside of the place. Right over here, the roof, the garage is already slowly collapsing. And there is still this car standing. The door is supposed to be open. Leslie's already making his way inside. Look at this, guys. It's an old Ford car. I'm quickly gonna make my way inside before I take too much attention here. But this is a beautiful car, and it's been here for a long time. Okay, we made our way inside. I'm gonna close the door behind me. And of course, as always, put on a mask. It's a little bit dirty inside. There fell some dirt from my gloves from the door inside. And yeah, what to tell you about this place? It was actually once lived in by a family. It was a woman living here together with her husband and her kids. But sadly enough, already in the 80s, at a young age, she lost her husband and her husband passed away. Throughout the years, the children went studying because this place is located in the middle of nowhere. So the kids went to study and the woman still lived there completely by herself. In the weekends, the kids would sometimes come by to say hi and spend time together. But she was basically a widow for a very long time. The house was originally constructed and built by the father of the woman, and eventually the father gifted it to her. It is still loaded with antiques from the 50s and the 60s. It's absolutely amazing. Now eventually the woman passed away at the age of 85 in 1992, and the house has been abandoned ever since. We're gonna find lots of memories of how she loved traveling, but also how she competed in dog shows and how she had a big passion for traveling all across different states in the USA. And the stories even go that she lies buried in the back garden because there is a little grave area that we're also about to see. So without further ado, we're gonna explore this amazing time capsule together. Enjoy watching today's video, the first one in Alabama. I'm really excited. Let's go. So we're gonna start our exploration over here in our cozy kitchen area. As you can tell, there are still a lot of things left. We got the toaster over here, some glasses, this jug, and even still all the plates and everything are present on the shelves. Some cleaning products on top. Oh, look at those very cute laces and curtains over here. Still so many things are left in there. Even some paint over there. This is making a lot of noise. It's very rusty. Well, as we're also in a part of the USA right now that's also known as the Bible Belt, the people are very religious here, and it also comes back in the ornaments inside the house. Because look at this, give thanks unto the Lord, it's saying. Even still some spices over here. Well, this used to be the furnace. Oh, there is even an old tin of corn over there. This used to be the trash can. And there's over here another one apparently, but it's filled with pans. That's strange. Still got the last dishes over here left to dry. And those shelves are mostly empty. So over here, the month that actually the dearest woman passed away, April 1992. At the 15th, she had to leave the home, it's saying over here. And then on the 17th, she actually had an operation, so surgery. Oh my gosh, that means that ever since she went for the operation, she might have never come back anymore into the house, and she maybe passed away in the hospital. It's pretty sad. But anyway, let's go to the next area of the home. We got this amazing dining area over here right next to the kitchen. You can see some beautiful signs of natural decay. Ceiling panels are slowly falling down. And right now they're littering the floor. Oh, she might even have been in the choir of the church. Look over here, gospel songs it's saying. It's so neat. And maybe she was actually singing at home, because this place, we told you it's featuring one grand piano, but it's also featuring an upright piano and an organ. Here's definitely a sign that she loved traveling. This is a souvenir from Florida. Over here is also still a lot of stuff left. Look at those porcelain figurines over here and little ornaments. This was even a hat from her. I think she actually used to wear this hat to funerals. Really looks like one of those hats. Over here, newspaper dating back from 1989. Old-fashioned country candies over there in that tin. Let's see if we can find a name over here. This is a checking deposit. I see a name, Neil. Neil. Alright. Let's just keep investigating the place and maybe we will find some more names. Got another old newspaper over there dating from 1980. The Gadsden Times. Very local newspaper. Just love how the dining table sits there in the middle of the room. And it's pretty funny to see the original construction of this home, as the ceiling panels were added later, and you can still see the parts of the original wood and even the pink painted wood. It's so unusual to paint it in pink. How to be a nurse's aide in a nursing home. Maybe she even used to be a nurse in her life. Anyway, there are so many old letters over here. So it was Mrs. Ted Turner that lived there. Let's see, we even got a letter over here. Don't know if I am able to read it. Let's give it a go. Alright, this is a handwritten letter. Nell, I feel guilty about not writing anymore. I know it is so lonesome down there. Very lonely here at times. I have worked alone all night out at the company before Norm died. This was a friend named 𝗦𝘁cie, actually writing how life was so lonely here. I have a feeling that the name of this woman was Nell Turner. Mrs. Turner that lived there. I'm gonna fold this letter back and put it back where I found it, right down here. I actually really like being in the USA because I can finally read and understand the letters. I also got this painting over here. Beautiful cupboards as well. The lamp, by the way, is actually very French. Those very old oil lamps. So right over here, they actually used to have their bathroom. The bathtub over there. Toilets. And a little sink. Just look, the place is really slowly withering away. Over here the walls, the wooden walls are just dematerializing. Time is clearly taking its toll on this beautiful southern home. So let's continue throughout the place. It is actually a fairly big home compared to what we've seen so far in the south. And right over here we have the main hallway. Beautiful stairs over here. Also the very neat wallpaper, even still a saw over there. Right underneath the staircase they could actually store some additional things. Like you mostly see in the more older homes. And right over there is the main door. You can tell it's completely boarded up, at least from the front. But the window on the back side and on the side where the car is was just unlocked. It's bizarre. This looks like a pretty old book. Oh, there's so much dust coming from it. Junius. The cover is actually broken. Guys, look to my gloves. Already so dirty. You can tell there's also a lot of woodworm inside. It's just eating the wood. Journeys into America. Oh my, you can tell that she loved traveling to her own continent. Also got these ornaments over here. Look at that painting over there. Really like it. But then the most spectacular room, in my opinion, is right in front of us. Guys, have a look at this. Oh my gosh. This living room is legit, completely untouched. Wow. Look at the grand piano over here, the wooden grand piano. I'm actually really in awe with it. I love seeing old pianos. It's absolutely amazing. I cannot even believe it's just covered in a thick layer of dust. That's so sad. Well, as always, you know, it's time for the test. As you can tell, most keys are broken, and I think this piano has been standing here for such a long time that nature has again just done its job on this beautiful musical instrument. Wow, look even at this. Beautiful painting over here. Or no, it's actually, is it a painting? Yeah, it is. It is a real painting. The gilded frame around it. Now this is where it actually becomes pretty airy and grim. Stories go that this dearest woman, Mrs. Neil Turner, actually passed away right over here on the couch. And as you can see, we can still see a lot of stains of, I think, blood or body fluid. I don't even want to think about it too much. It's very grim, but luckily she was found quickly. That's what we've been told. So I'm really delighted to actually hear that. It looks like we still have an old postal card over here. Wow. Greetings from somewhere. 𝗦𝘁cie and Sunny Mountain. 1994. Yeah, I don't know. I cannot even read it, guys. 1994 is not possible though. The home was left earlier. That's amazing. Just look at this room. Can we imagine how it was once filled with life and laughter when the kids were still living here and the husband was still alive in the early 70s? One must have loved playing the piano, just singing songs like she also did in church. There's also a huge fireplace over here. Where is still a little storage part. We can see some bars of the lamps over here that are stored. I really love seeing the antique furniture finally in one of the homes of the USA. For example, this sideboard is also very uniquely constructed. I really like it. And then over here on this little ornaments, we can see Kentucky. Not too far from Alabama, but still a sign that she loved traveling. So let's continue through this floor of the home. We even still got some of the plums over here from the dearest woman, Mrs. Turner. This white one, also this black one. Wow, guys, look at this. We got the beautiful wooden beds and also this beautiful vanity over here. Again, an amazing antique. With the round finishing actually on top, this round carving, it's actually very Portuguese. Often seen this in Portugal. A real marble block on it. Also over here you can tell that the parts of the ceiling are slowly coming down. What a place. And over here the floor is already collapsing. The table is close to be leveled to the basement level. So I got some plates, some glasses. I think they used to do ice cream or something inside there. It's also great to see how all the leaves have just fallen inside. So unreal. And over here we still got a painting with horses and a lot of dogs. And believe it or not, but there is just a second piano inside. This beautiful upright piano. And right on top we still got some old pictures of her husband that are beautifully coloring the upper part of the piano. You can tell the husband was still very young when he passed away. Wow, those are some beautiful photos. This one's also in a very poor condition, unfortunately. So let's see, it looks like we got another receipt over here. But there is another name to be found on it. It's something about Texas. So this is just a consequence of 29 years. These places sit here empty for such a long time. And eventually they fall in such a state of disrepair. The dearest family members and next of kin of Mrs. Turner have all moved. And now nobody is really caring about this property anymore. Now right next to this bedroom, we got another bedroom. With again a beautiful wooden bed over here. Another precious antique. Also so many clothes. Even little clothes over here. These clothes are very small. I'm wondering if they were the clothes from the children, or that Mrs. Turner was actually just a very small lady with also very small feet. As you can tell that those shoes over here are also a very small size. I think she was actually a very, I always call them like those adorable tiny ladies, old ladies. So this is strange. This newspaper is dating from the year 2000. So we've been told the information has been abandoned since 1992, but this is dating from 2000. So the home might be abandoned for a little shorter as we expected. Because why elsewise would there be a newspaper from 2000? Another one over here from March 2000. So those are clear signs that the home might be abandoned for a shorter time, I should say. But anyway, let's continue and look at this chair. It's really a chair that we also would find in Europe. Beautiful. This leather thing on top of it. I love to see that this place hasn't been badly vandalized at all. We've been trying to find places in this area for the last couple days, but it was so difficult to find an untouched place. So this is actually the first place we get to film now in Alabama. We hope to find much more here, but so far it doesn't look too promising at all. It's difficult to find time capsules here, guys. It looks that this is even maybe spray painted, like graffiti, I'm not sure. But let's not focus on the vandalism and let's focus on the beautiful items inside. Massive heater over here. We even still got the old sewing table. I'm wondering where the sewing machine has gone. Still got the huge cover over here. And of course, there she is. The sewing machine. Wow. Franklin is the brand's name. Beautiful sewing machine. Thoughts to share you. It's amazing. What a beautiful piece. Even the last part that they sewed is still hanging around it, wrapped around it. And I put the cover nicely back. It's a beautiful vintage television over here. Numbers frequently called. We got Dixie, John and Leela. I guess those were just very close friends of her. Also a rotary phone over there where she probably used to call them with. And then over here's the organ. It's actually an electric organ. You can tell by all the buttons and the electricity cable that's attached to it. She was probably practicing her songs for church right over here. And then went to church every Sunday. This is just full of black mold. I'm not even gonna touch it. But it's an old magazine. And finally, beautiful bed over here. I really like its design. It's a truly beautiful antique. Let your name be sanctified. Very captivating books inside this place as well. I don't think the organ always used to stand there, because you can tell that right behind it there is another door that's probably leading to the garden or something. So I think throughout the years she maybe didn't use the door anymore and just put her beautiful organ right over here. I was observing this chair for a while because it looked at first glance like a rocking chair, and I thought, because there is nothing to really like rock with, it wasn't. But look at this, guys. It is actually a rocking chair. That's amazing. A really beautiful one, like I've never seen before. It's so sad to see that it's actually been damaged. And then we're going back to their main hallway. Where all the beautiful wallpaper is just cherishing the walls. There is one other door that I haven't checked out yet. Let's see. Oh. So this room is rather messy. But you can tell that it used to be another bedroom. Whoa, there are so many flowers. Alright, let's try to get a little bit closer, because there is some beautiful furniture inside this room. For example, look at the antique sofa over here. Again, it looks very Portuguese or Spanish. Very Spanish influences. I don't know if the treasure here is done by vandals. I do think that this room was just not used anymore in the last days that Mrs. Turner lived there. So she might have just used this room for some storage purposes. There are so many bouquets. Obviously they have fake flowers, otherwise they would have been dead right now, but I'm wondering what all those fake bouquets are doing here. So right inside this drawer over here it's saying Bible lessons for adults. So you can clearly tell that religion was an important part of her life. I love seeing this very old book dating from June 1952. That's a fairly long time ago. My parents were not even born by then. Oh, the floor is in a very poor state here. Anyway, right in front of me is another rocking chair. And I really do not want to go there, because the floor is already a little bit caving in. So let's go back to the main hallway, and then we're gonna make our way to the upstairs part. I haven't seen it yet, so also for me it's gonna be a total surprise. I cannot wait to see it myself and show it to you. So time to explore. Okay, so let's go upstairs through this beautiful stairway over here. You can tell it's richly decorated by wallpaper, almost like a French home. You can also clearly see some signs of leakage damage over there on the ceiling. Oh, there are huge spots of leakage damage over here. I love the wooden banisters. Elegantly carved out. Whoa, look at this little chest over here. Let's see what we all got inside. Got this little purse over here. Another hat. Again, a black hat. This was a letter to Mrs. Walter. Probably a friend of her. A little pillow. Wow. Guys, this is a beautiful chest from the outside. But again, unfortunately, there is no gold inside. So let's see. Alright. This door gotta be leading to the main balcony that was pretty dilapidating outside. Yep, it is. Definitely not gonna stand here, but just wanted to show it to you. So sad to see how the building is just in such a dilapidated state. But that's what happens if nobody's maintaining it. The hunter's horn. And I believe that this over here is actually a real hunter's horn laying on top of it. Yep, this is a hunter's horn, guys. So one of the family members, or maybe even her, also used to do hunting. But since this is dating from 1949, I guess it was actually her husband that used to go out in the forest to hunt. Amazing. Alright, I see some beautiful rooms over here. I'm firstly going inside of this one. Wow. So many beautiful beds, and many beds. I think one of the rooms was also a guest room where they could receive guests and friends that came over. You can really tell that there are proper antique items inside of her. And that's because her father all gifted it to her in the 50s. The vacuum cleaner over here is still in the middle of the room. Is this even still a sign with no trespassing? Yeah, it is a very old sign saying no trespassing. Oh wow. And the final room is right in front of me. Have a look at the way natural sunlight is falling through the window. Beautiful. We got the white beds. And even on the corner of the headboard, one head is still hanging up. My gosh, even still a baby bed over here. Such a beautiful, cozy place. Right over here in the lamp, there is even still a spider chilling. Wow. I really love this place. A little boog over here. It's always beautiful to see how these places remain so well preserved for such a long time. That's what makes this hobby so captivating to me. Seeing how people lived back in the days in those real time capsules, where despite the owners have already left the place a long time ago, time seems to have stopped and frozen ever since. So with that having shown, it's time to see and explore a little bit the outside and the garden, and maybe see if the stories are right, that we've been told that she was actually buried in her back garden. So yeah, let's go and explore that. Alright, so there we are outside, and as you can tell, it's slowly getting dark outside already. So I just quickly want to find out if there is actually a grave in the back garden. There are so many wild animals here, wow. Actually a huge property from the outside. I do think that I actually see some kind of grave part or area over here maybe. The thing I hate about winter season is it gets dark so early. So we have so little time to explore these buildings. Well, I thought this was a grave area, but I actually don't see anything. So it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful property, and wow, what an exploration. I'm still a little bit worried and asking myself what has really went on here on the sofa. But in case the woman was found quickly, I'm just happy. Look over here at the front porch. We even still have this rocking bench hanging over here, and the beautiful columns in the front entrance. A typical southern home and historical home as well. Wow. Now let's take one last glimpse to the front, and then it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful property. Because of all the bushes and the vegetation in front, you cannot even see those beautiful columns anymore. Anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna close the video right here. I'm really intrigued by the story. Such a special time capsule home. I'm really happy that I got to show it to you. And I really hope that you did enjoy it. And if you did, as always, you know the drill. Do not forget to smash the thumbs up button on this beautiful southern home video. Also, please make sure to leave a comment down below in the comment section, because I love to hear from your opinion. And also do not forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos just like this one. And yeah, if you also want to support us, that's possible through a little link in the description to a Patreon and a PayPal. And then as always, I want to thank you for watching once again, and we will see you on the next adventure in the USA. Peace out.